Lining it all up, lining it all up. Here it is. Alrighty then. And on with the show.
Hi everybody, today is June 3rd, 2014. Here's an update for the earthquake swarm that's ongoing today. So far there's been 22 earthquakes, all in the same location. You can see that. They're actually posting earlier quakes before the main shock of 3.4. 1.1 at a depth of 5.6 kilometers. A 1.3 at a depth of 4.6 kilometers. A 1.6 at a depth of 7.4 kilometers. And you know all of these are underestimated. They always downplay them.
There's actually two of them. There's a 3.5 and 3.3 or something. Alrighty then, moving on. Since we only have 15 minutes, I loaded a show for 22. Thought it went, but it didn't. Alright, let's go on to the UFOs. That UFO Swarm UK Battlefield zoomed in, and this one is by Dabu77's channel.
This is Dabu7 with the zoomed in version here of the UFOs over the Ukraine battlefield. Once again, I will leave links, and I'm going to point out you will see it jump over the building here. That's one. Another one will dive in back here, and you will see the obvious one come in right across the screen. They happen in real time within a second. As you can see right there, they all go jumping. Moments later, an explosion happens in the middle of the city. But nonetheless, they are there. I wanted to do a zoomed version so you guys could see this. And I'll pause it a couple times so you can see the object right there. Now, when I say UFOs, I have no idea who is in control of these objects. But one thing's for sure, they are there. And they are watching the battlefield, in my opinion, very closely. I'm going to try to go slowly, as slow as I can here. See, frame to frame.
Wow. Hopefully you're picking this up. I'm not sure. I can't monitor at the same time. Alright. So that was today, June 3rd. Alrighty then. Moving on. Let's go into Bill Deagle's show real quick. Bill Deagle with Jeff RENSE, 5/29/14. Don't have to see nothing.
Strange schedule in mid-April was when he was out just looking around. He said, I was flabbergasted at seeing 3,500 brown pelicans nesting in Malibu Lagoon. He said, I checked my notes and I have numbers in the hundreds, but I've never seen anything like that. The majority of brown pelicans are given up, they have given up the attempt for nesting for the year. Again, 20 baby chicks in the Malibu Lagoon where they normally would expect to see up to 10,000.
Yeah. Now, people need to start translating, to not baby pelicans, but baby fetuses of human fetuses.
Everything that mammals,
everything, owls,
everything,
chickens, and
every life
animal,
form, every life form.
Any animal that lives longer, like a cow, people need to seriously start considering the idea of becoming, at the very least, vegetarians, if not vegans, because animals, especially long life, like beef,
the accumulation
are going to bioaccumulate cesium and strontium, and people are going to start saying, how come I got acutely sick from XYZ beef or whatever? And it may not just be contaminated with a kind of a OHT E. coli that can cause toxic shock and etc. We may be dealing with radiotoxicity that causes acute gut shock and puts people into a state of gastrointestinal radiation poisoning. So yeah, let me explain about the criticality, because this is important that people get this. Because it's underground, people assume, well, that's underground, and the news doesn't talk about it, so therefore it's not happening. When you have fast neutrons, they're being generated by a nuclear reaction underground, which means criticality is occurring. That's really bad. It means you have a smoldering nuclear reaction generating such high energy neutrons, it hits water molecules and adds one neutron becomes deuterium, and then the second neutron becomes tritium.
What that means is the same kind of reaction that goes on in the reactors is now in free form in the Earth underneath.
Or a nuclear explosion, too. People need to know it's the same reaction. Now, what happens is, what tritium does is it changes the freezing point, the boiling point of water. It changes its internal viscosity, and it does something very bad to replicating DNA. It slides the base pairs one DNA codon over.
Really? The whole base pair shift?
Yes, you get a base pair shift. It's called DNA intercalator, because it actually changes the structure of water. Now, people need to understand the reason why water, in terms of astrophysics, means life, is it is a informational superconductor of the vibrational frequency of all life form molecules, which are plasma molecules, are charged, and they translate their frequency, and that frequency is transmitted and turned into transforming proteins and enzymes that regulate the informatics of cell membranes. They act like a liquid crystal microprocessor. And so the water is what's called a phonon-maser superconductor. At normal temperature, it's an informational superconductor. When you put in tritium, it's like going in there with a saw and sawing up the wires.
Wow.
So you stop normal cellular communication. You actually intercalate the DNA. So if, let's say, it has a DNA code to make a little baby chick, bird, that chick is going to have this DNA codon slid over by so many base pairs, and it's going to lose the blueprint of how to make a bird.
It won't make a bird.
Right. And
dead in the egg.
Your body, if it's in your bone marrow, your bone marrow says, we've got to make new bone marrow cells because we've got to make more new blood cells, reticulocytes and lymphocytes, etc. And the bone marrow says, I'm having a senior moment. I don't know how to remember to do that. Okay, now, if your cells in your DNA has a senior moment, you're screwed. Now, when they pour this into the ocean, they have certificates that the government issued that allows them to put so many becquerels of radiation per week. They exceeded that within a couple of days, so they had to stop dumping. So I guess what they're saying, the government, the Japanese government, you got to slow down on killing the oceans and the people of the northern hemisphere. We're going to kill them all, don't worry, but we've got to kill them slower.
Give them a break. Let them live a little longer.
Let them live a little longer. Let them get cancer, cardiac arrhythmias. Let all the women spontaneously miscarry just disorganized masses of cells. Let all the pelicans die. Let all the sardines die. Let the salmon run, just disappear. Let the native people eat food until their hair falls out and their eyeballs are dripping with blood. You know,
don't worry. No, we're going to go to the break.
Sacrifice to the demonic gods that are ruling over this world, so they're avatar clay and iron minions like the ones in Bilderberg.
Alrighty then. Moving on, let's go to the regular news now. Updates. E&E News, Energy News. U.S. Canada, AP, drastic plunge in baby California pelicans, zero born in multiple study areas. Expert, the bottom dropped out. From thousands to 10 or less. Unknown why it's occurring. They know why it's occurring. Alrighty then. Or they're incompetent, and since they don't know, we don't need to hear from them anymore. Top Science Journal. Time bomb at WIP nuclear site. High alert over risk of new explosions in hundreds of plutonium-contaminated drums. AP. 4 hours may be needed just to seal off area where drums stored. Expert. Go down to check if ground still stable. Alrighty then, moving on. Let's get rid of this. Alright, we can get rid of this one maybe. Let's move on to E&E News, Energy News, Japan, Fukushima. Japanese journalists, workers very worried about deformed 400-foot structure falling on Fukushima reactor buildings and causing another crisis. Immediate repairs needed, yet can't do anything due to extreme radiation levels. Staff told to constantly watch it. One of site's most dangerous places. Also, today, June 3rd, Officials concerned ice wall to trigger significant subsidence and further endanger reactor buildings. Risk of more nuclear material spilling out of basements due to dramatic change in groundwater. Numerous hazards could undermine the plant. Impact on entire situation still being studied. Alrighty then. Also from VP Earthwatch, we are in, I guess, in the sixth seals. The sixth one has opened, and the Euphrates has dried up. But today is Pentecost, and I guess it's something like 50-something days after Passover, and God's going to pour His Spirit out to those, and just be aware. Alrighty then, that's something biblical that is going on today. Alrighty then. Now, let me see if I can find myself on here, because I can't monitor myself. Alrighty then. It is Tuesday, 2 days down, 3 to go before the weekend. Please, everyone, be safe. Be prepared for anything. And I'll catch you on the flip side. I did load a 22-minute video, but I thought it uploaded, but then it was rejected. Wow. Alrighty then. So take care, and I'll see you tomorrow on the flip side. Please be safe. Alrighty then. Hopefully this video came out alright.